Today, we get to talk about Stevie Chazard, the monetization director at Ubisoft. That's right, monetization director. Well, I wonder how Stevie is doing at his job. Oh, look at there. Ubisoft's founders reportedly considering buyout after lagging game sales. Well, I guess you're just not very good at your job, Stevie, are you? But of course, it can't be your fault. It must be those toxic gamers' fault, because it's always someone else's fault. It's never your fault. You can never take responsibility. There's always someone else to blame, even though you yourself are admitting that you hate the very audience that you should be catering to. And this is what happens within the entire entertainment industry. It's been happening for years. They continue to hire people that not only dislike, it's not that they dislike the audience, they actively despise and hate the very audience that they should be catering to. And they blame that same audience when the audience rejects the garbage that they are pushing out. I rarely post on social media, but today I am sad, ashamed and sad. The gaming industry is rough at the moment. We all know it. But seeing how gamers react on social media, wishing ill fate towards companies and people alike is sad. And not only towards Ubisoft. It's not sad. It's the reality of the situation. You work for a company. Fans historically have been very much supportive of these companies and these games that have been coming out, and then they hire weirdos like you that are actively changing the very thing that built the company in the first place, and then you lash out at the very audience that helped build the company because you have abandoned that audience. And of course, it's the audience's fault every single time. Even though it is always the vocal minority that express themselves on social media, I was hurt and ashamed to be a part of this community. Absolutely pathetic beta mentality. I mean, this is a soy boy to a T. This is insane. What is more revolting is coming on LinkedIn and seeing the same comments from people within the industry, on top of exposing yourself as clearly a non-decent human being. You are affecting thousands of employees that are already impacted by all of the hate, despite doing their best to deliver incredible experiences. How can you wish a company to fail simply because they do not cater to you or that product does not please you is beyond me. What? How can you wish a company to fail simply because they do not cater to you? Because as the customer, it is your job to cater to the customer. My God, so I'm not supposed to be able to go to a restaurant and when they serve me shitty food, I'm going to be like, yeah, this is terrible. I'm not supposed to complain. I'm not supposed to say anything. I'm supposed to give my money to that restaurant and just eat the crap that they give me, even if it's bad, even if it's undercooked, even if it's out of date. I'm supposed to do that because how dare you criticize this company that you're giving your money to? This is an absolutely insane idea. It's an insane idea. That is only something that activists and people that do not care about the industry are pushing because they cannot take any responsibility whatsoever. A classic case that we've all pointed to is the live-action Sonic movie that came out a few years ago. And as soon as that first trailer came out, it was widely panned. Everybody looked at it and said, what the hell is this? This is not Sonic. This is terrible. And what do? They said, hey, we hear you. We really screwed up. We are going to take everything back to the drawing board and listen to the criticism. Now they're going in on their third, fourth movie, whatever it is. Third movie, I think. Absolutely the perfect way to handle it. In any capacity, when you're dealing with fans and passionate fans, you're going to have fans have passionate opinions. Fan is short for fanatic. This is how it works. It's how it's always worked, and it's how it's always going to work. You're never going to change the core idea of fandom. And at the core is passion. People are passionate, and they're going to express those passionate opinions. And we should always encourage passionate reaction from people that care. Just because you don't like an individual opinion or a specific narrative that is going on doesn't mean that people are wrong. You should listen to all feedback and take that into consideration when you're trying to make changes. Not complicated at all. And it says, we are all on the same boat. Please, please, please stop spreading hate. We should all uplift each other instead of bringing each other down. Ubisoft sucks. That's really what it comes down to. Ubisoft, the company, sucks, and it's only going to continue to get worse. Stevie Chazard, I think that's how you say it anyway, the monetization director at Ubisoft, lashed out at gamers and his fellow developers in the wake of the company postponing Assassin's Creed Shadows and admitting its sales for Star Wars Outlaws were softer than expected. Yeah, I mean, we all knew that this was going to happen because we saw Star Wars Outlaws for the shit show that it was, and it was not very hard to predict that was going to happen. If you've been paying attention to Ubisoft or to Lucasfilm within the last several years, we knew exactly what Star Wars Outlaws was going to be, and it's why it has completely tanked. About a week after the press release, Chazard took to LinkedIn, where he lashed out at gamers and his fellow developers, celebrating the demise of Ubisoft. And as I just wrote all of that right there, blah, 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 blah. And it says, this will likely be lost on Chazard, but Ubisoft and many of his fellow employees are the ones pushing hate towards their commitment to woke ideology. Despite Ubisoft CEO claiming that the aforementioned press release, I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push a specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. The company's website makes it clear how dedicated to the agenda wokeism it is, though. And yes, if you go over their website, it just shows all of the woke social media, social propaganda, talking points about diversity, inclusion, and representation and all of that bullshit. And ultimately, no one cares about these things. All they care about is good stories and good characters. They don't care what color a character is. They don't care who a character is that sleeps with. They don't care what they identify as. We just want good stories. And if you tell good stories, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. But when identity politics is at the forefront of what you are creating, everything else is going to suffer, because no story should be driven by identity politics. None. And when a story is driven by identity politics, there is a very, very high possibility that that story is going to suffer, and everything else involved with the process is going to suffer. We've seen it time and time again. So Ubisoft, again, there's rumors that they're looking to maybe sell. There's rumors of Tencent that's going to be looking to maybe purchase it. I don't really give a shit what happens to Ubisoft. It doesn't matter to me. They are a ticking time bomb, and they have been for a while now. And what's going to happen with Assassin's Creed Shadows is really going to put them in a really bad situation, because that is their flagship franchise. And they have completely screwed this entire situation up with pandering to social justice propaganda, which, again, generally speaking, no one is interested in at all. And it's always a failing business model every single time. But hey, to their monetization director, continue to whine and cry on social media, continue to target gamers, continue to blame them on all of your problems. It's a losing cause every single time. Continue to do it, though, because you prove people like me right, even though I've already been proven right more times than I can count. That now we're at a point where even people that have tried to question me and people like me for years, even now they're waking up to the reality of, like, damn, the entertainment industry is fucked. And it is. And it has been for a long time, because they continue to hire left-wing activists that do not care about any of this stuff. They only want to ruin it. So watching them destroy franchise after franchise and then ultimately company after company is par for the course. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.